Hey, what's up everybody? This is Work501 and today I want to go over a leak that potentially shows the official release date for Diablo 4. And there are actually a handful of different leaks that are all pointing us in the same direction. So first off, a few months ago we got a screenshot that showed a bunch of different Activision Blizzard release dates for different products. So you had World of Warcraft Classic, you had Overwatch 2, you had Call of Duty, and you had World of Warcraft Retail, different launch dates and times. And pretty much all of these have turned out to be true. The World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King pre-patch and pre-sale was correct. The Overwatch 2 early access launch was true. The World of Warcraft 10.0 pre-patch was the correct date. The COD releases were correct. And the next WoW expansion release date was also correct. So pretty much everything on here was correct. And the final thing on the list was actually a pre-purchase for Diablo 4, and this is set to be at 12 p.m. on December 8th, and this will be revealed at the Game Awards. So this would be pre-purchase for all the different versions of the game. You could go pre-order the game, and presumably there will be a new big trailer and possibly other footage to go along with this pre-purchase announcement. And I pretty much guarantee you this is going to be the actual date because, like I mentioned, everything else on this list has ended up being accurate. But that's just the pre-order or pre-purchase for Diablo 4. But more recently, we got some new information on the potential official release date for Diablo 4. And this comes from a handful of different sources. So first off, on the Xbox 2 podcast, Jez Gordon gave some hints on when the official release date would be, not being super specific. And then after that, on the Xbox Era podcast, they also gave further information on when the official release date would be. They also gave some additional information on some of the things you'll be able to get on pre-purchasing the game. Then after that, Jez Gordon then wrote an article for Windows Central that goes over all of that information. So we're going to be going over that. And I'll also have those podcasts and this article linked in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. So according to Xbox Era and our sources, Blizzard is planning a sizable marketing blitz for Diablo 4 starting at the Game Awards in 2022, which as we went over is when the pre-purchase is going to be announced, where the game's April launch window should be revealed. So leaking that the game should be releasing sometime within April. Additionally, pre-orders should open during the show, including various digital editions and a premium physical collector's edition with various goodies for hardcore fans. That's something that obviously would be happening. Every game Activision Blizzard releases pretty much has this. And if our information is correct, one of the pre-order benefits will be early access to Diablo 4's open beta in February 2023. Now, in these leaks in these various podcasts, they also did mention that there would be early access to the game in these pre-orders. Now, early access was one of the options that was in the leaked surveys months and months ago as a potential thing you would be getting for pre-ordering the game. So maybe if you pre-order the game, you would get 2 or 3 days of early access to just play the game earlier. But it's also being leaked here that if you pre-order the game, you're going to be getting guaranteed access to that open beta as well. Now, I don't think you'll have to pre-order the game to be able to play this beta. And if I would have to guess, I would say there's probably going to be a handful of ways you can go about getting into this beta. First off, if you pre-order, you'll get guaranteed access. Second, they'll probably just be sending out tons of keys to whoever signs up for the beta. And then on top of that, I suspect they'll probably be doing Twitch drops. So you go watch someone playing Diablo 4 for a couple hours, then you get a guaranteed key. And one of the big reasons for this is because an open beta closer to the launch date is primarily going to be used for squashing bugs and stress testing their servers. So they're going to want a ton of people in this and not just people that pre-order or just people that sign up. But that's pretty much all the leaked information we got. And just to go back through all this information, if all of these leaks end up being true, we will be getting a new announcement for the pre-purchase or pre-order of Diablo 4 on December 8th at the Game Awards. That will also be accompanied by a new trailer for the game and potential new gameplay or maybe a developer going over some of the stuff of the game. Pre-orders will obviously include the different tiers of digital goods and then a high collector's tier that gives you a bunch of physical stuff. And with the pre-order, you will most likely be getting a couple days early access to Diablo 4 on the official release date and guaranteed access to the open beta in February. But like I mentioned, you'll probably be able to get into that beta in other ways. And then the official release date will be sometime in April. And I also want to throw in a small bit of information on when we could expect the first season of Diablo 4, because it was talked about a little bit in these podcasts, and it was also mentioned in the article we've been going over. So according to our information, Season 1 is tentatively scheduled for Q3, despite the game launching in April. So this would mean we could expect a pretty quick turnaround going into Season 1 after Diablo 4's release. And this has been talked about in the past, and there have been some potential rumors going around. And the main thing a lot of the stuff has been pointing at is that 3 or 4 months after the original launch of Diablo 4, we can expect Season 1. Now, this would also make sense because we would be going from the launch of Diablo 4, and then we would be going the general amount of time in between seasons until we would get Season 1. Now, in Diablo 4, they're planning to give up to 4 seasons a year, and they're being a little loose with that up to 4 until the game is officially released, and they can be more concrete with how many seasons they want to give every year. But generally, we can expect a new season every, say, 3 to 4 months. So it would make sense that we would be getting Season 1 in that amount of time after the official release of the game. And I think that's a pretty important thing to go over because of Diablo 4 being a live service game, and it's going to have a pretty massive live service team working on it. So the launch of Diablo 4 is just the start of the content, and every new season you're going to be getting a ton of additional stuff. And on top of those seasons, Diablo 4 is also going to have expansions somewhere down the road. Now that's the one bit of post-launch content we haven't gotten any additional information on, but I would probably expect that these expansions will be probably every 2 years, maybe every 1.5 years, and these would be much more substantial updates to the game. They would probably add in things like new major systems that change a lot of the game, probably add in new landmass into the game, like potentially add a whole additional region, and then that is also where they would be adding in new classes. One of my working theories is that the first expansion after the launch of the game is actually going to be focused on the light, and that would add in the Crusader or any other applicable classes. Now take all this information with a grain of salt. These are leaks. A lot of these are probably going to be pretty accurate, if not the exact information. If I would have had to guess before seeing any of these leaks, I probably would have said the release date would have been around March or April, and pretty much all the other information is what you would normally expect: a different version of the game, the high tier collector's version that gives physical items, getting guaranteed access to open betas. All that stuff is pretty common across gaming in general these days, especially AAA releases. But that's pretty much all the information I want to go over for new leaks on the potential release date of Diablo 4. So subscribe if you want to see more Diablo 4 or other videos. Leave a like if you liked the video. Comment down below what you guys think about this new leaked information, and thanks for watching.